All right, so welcome to the third episode. It's third episode, right?
Third episode.
Yeah, third episode of the Papi Podcast.
Hi, Papi.
So here today with me it's Arturo, it's
Ricky,
Jacob,
Jonathan,
Rico.
Great. And then today we're gonna be talking about social media, something that happened on social media that I saw the past couple of days, something that I think is real interesting.
At me though. At me.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it. So Jacob, it happened to you. So you wanna say what happened?
Yeah. This is what happened. I exercised my First Amendment rights.
on social media.
And apparently, people got problems with that. So, two instances. You want me to talk about both of them or the first one?
Talk about the first one, then we'll go.
Okay, so the first one, I saw a post about LatinX. If you don't know about it, I don't want to get too much into it right now, but I saw a post about this thing called LatinX. I didn't like what it was pushing. I didn't like its agenda, and so the idea behind it was instead of saying Latino or Latina, you say Latinx. You replace the O and A to so it makes it gender neutral. And all I did was I shared the story and I wrote no me gusto, except I put, which means I don't like, right? I don't like it. I mean, instead of gusto with an O at the end, I put an X at the end. And in all seriousness, I really didn't like it, but it was just a little joke. It wasn't supposed to
trigger anybody.
I thought about putting it more, but I did it. And then and then someone commented that if I didn't like it, I shouldn't have posted it. To each their own space. And
that's what they said?
Wait till
yeah,
what?
That's what they said.
That's pretty verbatim, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
They said, what was it?
If you don't like it, don't post it. To each their own space. And there was a smiley face emoji in there, which, intonation is so hard to read on a screen. Like, it's hard to say, they could have said, if you don't like it, don't post it. Or they could have been, joking, if you don't like it, don't post it, don't worry about it. It could have been a little more friendly, and that's hard to read on the screen. But they put the little smiley face emoji, which also was hard to read on the screen.
Because it could be
it could be being sarcastic.
Yeah, like a sarcastic smile.
But I know the person, and I thought they were coming from a genuine place, and I don't think they were trying to be
anything
rude or anything.
So wait, so they were being rude? You found out they were being rude?
No, I didn't think they were being rude. They put the smiley face.
It's just the fact that I mean, people that are interested in social justice, people that are interested in problems like gender equality or just sexual orientation, like those things that are going on
gender
right now.
neutralism.
Yeah,
that's what that one was.
And then even the being gender neutral in the language, like instead of Latino, Latina, just having Latinx.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You want to open up a conversation about it because to be honest, I don't know too much about it. I just know that they're doing that. I haven't heard about it outside of, honestly, speaking Spanish outside of the U.S. I haven't heard any of it in Mexico, stuff like that. And it's just interesting how sometimes, everybody says that they want to start a conversation about it, but when you do try to post a conversation and it's not something that people necessarily want to hear, they're like, hey, all right, so if it's not something I want to hear, I don't really want to hear about it. So it's kind of going back against that, or going back against, opening that conversation.
And to be honest, I think I was at school when I posted it, and I thought about elaborating on my opinion. I wanted to express my opinion on it, and I wanted to elaborate, but I was at school, and I think, I don't know what I was doing at the time, but it wasn't the time to make a long post at that time about it. But just for anybody to tell me if I don't like something, don't post it. To each their own space. I thought, first of all, this is my space. This is my Facebook.
Right.
And all I said was I don't like it in Spanish with an X instead of O on the me gusta. and I just thought, I wasn't belittling anyone, or I wasn't saying they're stupid.
You ain't offending anybody?
You're not being rude about it. It's just your
I didn't
opinion.
place any judgment on it, like it's wrong, or it's right, or it's bad. I just expressed a disagreement with it, saying I don't like it. Right?
Yeah.
That's no judgment. That's just opinion. I think there's a difference between those two: expressing your opinion and then judging something.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about the second one? Because the second one, I think is a better example of I guess like how people use slang.
Let me just ask though,
Yeah.
did anything blow up after that? I mean, did he just leave it at that?
Okay,
was there a conversation afterwards?
Man, if the person ever listens to this, I'm gonna feel funny. But so they posted, and notice my gender neutral nouns there, right? They posted. If they notice their post, their comment, right? So we're being very gender neutral here. for purposes of anonymity. But if you really wanted it, I posted it May 8th at around 12. Well, anyways, they posted it, and I was like, I'm gonna be so mad if that comment gets more support than my like half joking, half I don't like it, sharing of the post and the article at all, and then they got one like. I was like, here it goes. Here goes the floodgates. I gotta respond now or it's game over. Everybody who's liked it is not gonna see that I came back. And so
you can't be adding more fuel to the fire if there was fire.
Well, so I have like a lot of respect for this person.
Yeah.
They're very involved politically and socially, like especially for the Latino community. I have huge respect for what they do on campus, off campus.
I already know who it is just by who you're describing.
Okay, well, don't say any names.
I'm not saying any names. I'm just saying that I already know who it is.
Yeah. Well, if you know this person, like they're a very likable person. I have a lot of respect for this person, and I like them. Like I did, and then because of that, I got heated at the response that they gave me. But out of respect, right? I didn't want to be disrespectful in my reply. So I just said, what did I say? I said, I can post whatever I want. Thank you very much. And I think I might have also put a smiley face.
Smiley?
I saw that. I was like, oh God.
And now this is where this hard.
See, now they both don't know what a smiley face means.
Yeah, they don't.
Hey, it's a double-edged sword right there.
Hey, so just imagine someone like awkwardly smiling at you, like.
He's awkwardly smiling right now.
Yeah, so just try to do that wherever you're at right now.
Lighter fluid on a flame.
Yeah.
Bro. Definitely.
I'm not trying to be,
burn this
say
bitch
whatever
up.
I want. Happy face.
But when you shared it, what you said is that it was very just like, I don't like it. That's it.
That's all it
There
is.
was other people that were like, this is stupid, this is bullshit. What the fuck is going on? That's what people were like posting when they were sharing that. I mean, it was the same sentiment. I don't like it, but yours was very nice compared to everyone else.
They didn't use they or there.
Okay, so there was a response to your response?
Okay, so when I put my response, and this is petty. This is petty.
Man, what happened to staying neutral? Now we went into pettiness.
But this is petty, not in what I did, but how I felt. Because after I posted mine, I got like more likes. And I was like, I won. So and what are the numbers? I think last time I looked at
I knew it. Okay.
6.
I had 6 and a reaction. Some people even put like not just liking it, but they put a reaction like a little laughing emoji, like you can do it on Facebook now, and they put that, and I felt like that validated me. Not that I needed it, but it felt good to have it. It felt good to have it, and I think she.
That's petty. That was petty.
I think they replied, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
Because I said, thank you very much. They replied, you're welcome. Smiley face. And I think to that, I just replied with like a smiley face or a heart or something. Just, I really like, I respect this person so much. Like, I just didn't want any bad blood, off the line. We're online right now. I didn't want any bad blood off the line.
Yeah.
And I never really reached out to them. And now that I'm thinking about it right now, I probably should have, but I really have confidence that this person's not going to like hold any grudge against me. I feel like they should know I'm coming from a good place. I'm not really one to down on people.
Alright, so the second one.
So the second one.
And then today.
What happened today? Tell me.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you what happened. It was on my off period because I'm really productive.
So you had more time to write your opinion.
So then this time I had
this time, you were able to rant. Okay.
So I saw one of my gay LBs from Cali and a couple other like friends I have on Facebook who are also in the LGBTQ community share this post, and like the title of the article is an article like a blog or something, and somebody they shared it, and the title was something like
the title's here it is.
Yeah, read it.
The title's Dear Straight Allies, please don't come to Pride until you've understood these 6 things.
Okay, now I started reading the article, and I think, let me see, I'm looking at it now. The first one says the first Pride was a police riot. So, I'm gonna be honest, I had a reaction before I read the rest of anything. I just read number 1, the first Pride was a police riot, and just from reading that bold, first statement, they elaborated on it, whoever wrote the post. I just thought like, okay, so what they're saying is I can't come to a Pride parade unless I know exactly how it started. I think there's a huge portion of people within the LGBT community who can't tell you how the first Pride parade started. Just like there's a bunch of Mexicans who can't tell you what Cinco de Mayo is. Yeah. There's a lot of Americans who can't tell you what happened on 4th of July. I don't think this is something that should have been in the post at all. I think if people want to support your movement and your push for equality, you shouldn't limit them on their participation based on if they know their history or not.
But see, here I think the main point, like just to focus on the language of it, was the title was just like, don't come to Pride or don't be a part of this event if you don't understand these 6 things. So I just think like the exclusivity of the language is something that, might bother some people. It's like what you said in the post, you said, it's like telling people don't drink on Cinco de Mayo if you don't know the history. It's like, it's a public event, it's a public thing, you can do whatever you want. I mean, it might be good if you know like what's going on or why things are going on and stuff like that, but it's not necessary.
I'm not going to tell anybody you can't have drinks on any day of the year. Any day.
People are going to drink regardless. It's just an excuse to do it anyways.
Exactly. People drink a lot more on Cinco de Mayo.
A lot more specials.
I saw that like the tequila sales are like $8 million on
more than on like Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's cheaper.
Well, yeah,
it's cheaper.
You got drink specials like crazy.
You got drink specials. Everybody's trying to make margaritas.
I'm sure that number went up this year because it was on a Friday.
Yeah.
It was out.
Yeah.
True.
Too.
How many did you have? Exactly.
I didn't drink the Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, I did.
I drank.
I did.
What did I drink? I drank like on the 1st of May, on the 2nd of May, the 3rd. I drank like all the days leading up to it, and I was like,
that's during the week. Not on a Friday.
You just pretty much told me like I drink on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday.
School's very
Thursday,
stressful right now.
Skip Friday, went to Saturday.
So you just skipped Cinco de Mayo.
I didn't want to be.
But you celebrated it.
I did. I bought a tequila.
I didn't even want to take the chance of being like, that stupid kid doesn't even know what he's drinking for.
I was surprised though that day there was barely any people dressed up like in sombreros and stuff.
Nah, you know what? You know what?
That's
to be honest, that's not the reason I didn't drink. I didn't drink because we had a soccer banquet and it ended real late, and I was really fucking tired at the end of it, so I just came home and went to sleep. Too tired to go out and drink, and that's really why I didn't drink on Cinco. It was unfortunate. But
if not, I would have been super drunk.
The kids come first. The kids come
that
first, right?
True.
So I have priorities, and drinking is like number 3 after the kids. Before that's family. Kids, right after it's family, and then it's drinking.
And then it's drinking.
That sounds about right.
That was a joke. You know what? Because y'all don't know me out there. Maybe you do. And if you do, but some of you might not know me. That was a joke. Quit being judgmental. You.
Did y'all hear the stories about like everybody about what happened? Was it at Baylor? Where that one fraternity made the Cinco de Drinko, and everybody was dressed up as like as landscapers, as construction workers.
That happened again, like this year?
Yeah, again.
That happens every single time, man.
I feel like everybody kind of knows, like, this
if I had
to guess of that, you know?
Let me just... IFC?
Yeah.
IFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, their name's out there. It's Kappa Sigma.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
that's how bad it is that you could just kind of guess it's one of them.
Yeah.
It's one of them. There's a problem. There's a racial problem there going on, I think, you know. The stereotypes.
Well, there was a bar that was offering free drinks if you made it over their wall.
I saw that today.
Bro,
They had
we should go!
No, it gets better, though. It gets better. It was a blow-up wall.
Yeah.
And if you made it over the blow-up wall, you got a green card.
Oh yeah, you got a drinking card.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was like on it. It was like permanent drinking card.
It's only good for one drink, but you get a green card.
Hey, man, I'm not even mad at that. Shit.
They're just marketing, bro.
You know what? Hold on. What were the owners?
American, white.
Caucasian.
Caucasoids.
I never heard that one.
I've never heard that. You've been waiting to use that, haven't you?
No, y'all never watched Cat Williams?
I do.
That's
but
how
not
Cat
that
Williams
much.
bit.
Not that
like-
much.
Caucasoids from the land of Caucasia.
He's too vulgar for me. He did get too vulgar for me.
I stopped listening to him when he got beat up by that middle school kid.
Oh,
You said that.
Oh man, that was a big middle school kid compared to Cat. You know, Cat's small. I think that middle school kid might have failed a couple times.
He was probably 16 in 7th grade.
You know, Cat's getting old too.
I have no idea.
He's pushing elderly.
You know Cat Williams?
He's
Got
pushing
perm.
elderly.
Yeah, no.
And you know, he did a lot of drugs, so
He's
that
on
makes
that
you
early bird
age.
special.
It makes you age even quicker. You know, you lose your mind quicker. And you all Cat.
I thought he was in jail. That's something I heard.
Oh, he's always in jail. For drugs, mostly.
In and out.
How did he get beat up by a middle schooler?
I don't know.
Did you not see the middle
everybody,
school?
like, he
Was that guy in jail too? Like,
everybody was making memes about him, like saying he was washed up, that he wasn't funny anymore. And then like the kids started putting him on Instagram or something like that, putting him on social media, and he just got fed up with it.
So
He thought he could take on a middle school kid. Thought he could take on a middle school kid, but apparently he couldn't. The
Put
kid
up,
beat him
put
up.
up. Hey, 3 o'clock. We're gonna be pulling up. 3
You
o'clock.
really met him up like at his school?
No, I think they were just outside.
In public somewhere.
They were just
But
outside.
if this was on social media, how did he get to physical presence with the
Wait,
middle
wait,
schooler?
uh,
He flew up there.
Like how just
Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what that's called.
Yeah.
I gotta see this video.
R.I.P. Meek.
Probably a little later. But
Yeah, maybe now's not the time.
No. The one that came back though, Dave Chappelle.
ridiculous.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle.
Y'all seen the special?
Yeah, but I'm like, you can tell that he's totally different now. His comedy is different. It's still funny, but it's different.
It's
but
not
you can
as-
tell.
it's
He's
not
got the
as
same
vulgar.
personality.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he's like
He's more mature.
Yeah, he's more mature. You can tell in his jokes, he's like more like aware of what he says, and then you can tell from his eyes and the way he looks, he's learned a lot, and he's been through a lot.
It's kind of like
He's been
when
through some
you're.
shit.
He's been through some shit.
It's kind of like when you're in Greek life as an undergrad, and then you go back for a party as an alum.
Oh yeah.
It's that's the same thing. It happens like, well, shit, you know. I gotta watch out for some things and
Yeah.
more cautious.
Yeah, no, and look, if you seen his have you seen his comedy? His new one, right?
I've seen like half an hour of it.
Yeah, like you can see the way he's just doing. He's just like
He's more
real
measured.
chill. Yeah, he's really more measured, and he's watching what he's saying.
I mean, in my opinion, I kind of liked him
Like an
before.
alum at an undergrad party.
Well, yeah, of course, but like the reason he's like that now is like he's more aware of things.
Some
He's like
excellent
he's not gonna get himself into some stupid argument or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like
Everybody's,
it's just like
answering on
you know
social media.
because he disappeared.
no matter
He
you
went to
post.
what Africa or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, went to
And,
Africa.
He's
And,
seen
like,
some shit.
Yeah, he's like dude, like you
He's
look
seen
at him
some shit.
and you can tell like just by his eyes.
Hey,
He's
what
been
does-
through some
what does
stuff.
this have to do with the posts?
I don't know.
That's a tangent of a tangent, bro.
We went off on one tangent.
We went from Cinco de Mayo to Cat Williams to.
Cinco de Mayo, Cat Williams, to back
Well, we
to-
started with the gays.
Okay, we're going back to the gays.
All right. So
okay.
all right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna wrap it all back up. See, he's more mature, right? He watches what he says, because he doesn't want people on social media just attacking him, because now he's like not now. I mean, he used to be not as measured, not as politically correct. Now he just doesn't want to deal with that mess. So now he's more measured in his jokes. I don't know if I like him more though. But back to that point, like a point that I had is just the whole conversation aspect of it. It's just, I don't know, you get more of a riot mentality when you have people at like, did y'all hear what happened at Berkeley? How somebody was gonna go speak, and it was a conservative, and Berkeley's in Cali. Most of like the university, or almost any university, is really like there's really liberal, really left, really
In Cali, yeah.
Yeah, and so then they were trying to stop this person, this conservative. I forgot who it was. They were trying to stop them from speaking. So the whole point was, liberals are, give me freedom of speech, freedom of, to choose my own gender neutrality, all that other stuff. But when you see somebody that comes up or that's trying to speak with an ideology that's different than yours, you're there doing the same oppressive thing that they were trying to do to you. Appreciate it.
Which goes back to the post,
exactly.
Right? Like the LGBT community is pushing for acceptance, right? But in the post, the way it was worded, right, the certain words they used, and just the whole the vibe of the post was like, we're not accepting of you,
right?
Straight people who, and to be honest, the post had really valid concerns, right? Brought some really good points about straight people going to gay events and doing stupid things, but I just think
that's
any
with
person,
any event,
gay or straight, going to any event, gay or straight, doing stupid things is unacceptable, and it just felt like for a group of people who want to be accepted, they were really drawing a line between this is what y'all do, and then we don't want that over here. This is our space. So
here's the thing though, like, people want to be accepted, right? There's a big bubble that has the majority of the population, then you have minorities, you have people that are discriminated against. They want to be included in that big bubble, in that big group, but then once they're included, they want to keep their small bubble, right? Their identity or something like that. So it doesn't really work in my opinion at least, it doesn't really work like that. Like, if you want to be accepted,
that's like separate but equal.
Right, exactly.
Which is like, you want equality, but you want to be separate, but that's not really equal. If you're going to be in this, you can't be separated from us. You can't have your own bubble inside our larger bubble where we accept you. You have to, if you're going to be in our bubble, that's the bubble you're in, not your bubble anymore. Right. If you're going to be in your bubble, that means you can't be in our bubble, because you're in your bubble. My bubble. And, obviously, there were some really good points in there, but I think, I just think some of the wordings, like, and I even mentioned in the post, somebody was, raising concerns with me and all my rebuttal arguments for each of the 6 points. And so, all of my points, he was like, you're totally dismissing all their valid points. And I was like, I don't think I dismissed anything. I think I just addressed what I had concerns, like my problem with the post. And I didn't dismiss anything. I just addressed certain parts of it. It's kind of like if somebody gives a speech and you only tell them critique, like you only give them critiques, and you don't say anything about the good things they did. That's not dismissing them. You're just not addressing them at all. Like, right. I don't think it's dismissing them like, oh, that's not a good point. You're just only, addressing certain points that you didn't
critiquing.
Like. Yeah, I'm critiquing. So that's what I did, because, aside from the context of any argument, if I got problems with the way you're posing an argument, I'm gonna bring up my problems with that argument. Only if I'm on my off period.
Only off period.
I mean, even if it's out of like finding something that you don't like about the argument, something you don't agree about the argument, or there's also that part, like, I don't know too much about that stuff. So if I strike up a conversation with somebody, the questions that I might have or the statements that I might make might be ignorant, but just because of the fact that I don't know anything about it, right? So if it is something that, might be not, if I do make a statement that's not that knowledgeable, it might be wrong, like, there's no reason to attack back at it. I mean, that's why the dialogue's there. That's why the dialogue's there, to communicate, to educate, and then for both sides to learn, because then, without that, then there's no point.
The person even asked me, like, what would you have done differently if you would have wrote the post? Like, you guys probably, what would you... And I even mentioned, like, a really good example, like, instead of saying, hey, don't come to this unless you're gonna, I would have worded it differently. I'd be like, just before you come. So automatically that's like acknowledging that there will be people that come. And that's not causing contention, right? It's not saying do not. That's negative already. Before you come is accepting. Like, hey, you're gonna come. Before you come, some things you might want to know. And I think that And you could have raised all the same points, but just opening, right? Headlining your article with that, before you come, instead of, please don't come if you're going to, like, it's a difference. And it's that difference that I was trying to bring up. I was trying to point that out.
It sets the tone for the rest of the article.
Right.
And there were, you know what, I'm going to say, there were some stupid things said in the thing, followed by, like, really good backing. Like, for one, there was one just like, don't take pictures or snaps of us. That was like the number 3 or 4 or something like that. And first of all, that's a ridiculous demand to tell someone to go to parade and not take pictures or put it on Snapchat. It's a public event. You should be able. That's the First Amendment right to take pictures in a public space, as long as you're not invading anyone's privacy.
And it's a parade, like,
and it's
you
parade.
document these type of
Don't
things.
You want to
through
raise
social
awareness
media,
and
people document through their
awareness.
Snapchat.
Like, you don't want the awareness.
And then they followed it up like, we don't appreciate it when straight people come to the gay events and make fun of us on their Snapchat. And well, then I think that should have been the thing you said. Don't make fun of us, or refrain from belittling our movement. They just came at the argument in a really negative way, which kind of undermined what their main concerns were. It's like they had really valid concerns and undermined it by making like ridiculous at times arguments and demands. That was what I just didn't like the way they argued their points. And I was on off. I had time.
That's all that matters. You gotta have time.
It just they could have approached it a lot better to bring the same points. I think that's really the biggest.
And
thing.
this time I had time to elaborate. So instead of saying like, I don't like it,
smiley face.
I had time to like, this is why. And I went through each point and said, this is why I don't like about this one, this is why I don't like about this one. And I didn't dismiss anything. I don't know, people say dismiss. Whatever.
To each their own, right?
Yeah.
To each their own space.
I don't know. Like, that's a thing I've noticed a lot when it comes to the LGBT community, that when they write things, it's very combative. It's very, like, they always put...
I'm sorry.
What?
Went down the wrong pipe.
Choking on me.
Just sipping my tea. Wait, that's a good stopping point, because you said, as a member, why don't you, like...
I didn't say that, but okay. I didn't go there yet.
No, you definitely did. After you said something like we.
Did I?
You said like we.
You said
you said we.
Oh shit. Oh, okay.
You said we, and I think you just kind of like smooth slid that in there without even knowing it. That's what I'm saying. You kind of already brought it up. It's a good stopping point. I don't know if you want to confirm.
Yeah, I guess.
That it was.
I mean, I am part of the LGBT community, the B part. The bisexual part, which
the bitch part.
Continue.
So even with that, like that already has like.
Yeah.
It's all love on this side. You only know it's all love.
No, I understand.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I'm sorry.
You were taking that to you real hard though. Nah. No, but I mean, yeah. I identify as bisexual. It's like just a thing. I came out last year. It's been pretty positive. But the other side is that when I've told people who identify as gay or lesbian or whatever, they always say, nah, you're not. You've got to be one or the other. And it kind of, it's like, you're part of that group, that community, but at the same time you're kind of ostracized because you like both.
So you're like a minority inside of a minority.
Yeah, it's true. And that's why when it comes to these kind of things, they're very combative. They're always combative with me when I say that.
Right.
And it's just like...
You're part of the community.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, like, I understand, it's very difficult to be this type of person. Like, you don't choose this life because it's very difficult to live in it. But when I've seen when they write articles about these kind of things, they're very combative. And I do agree with what Jacob was saying, is that they could have approached it in a totally different way. Especially like, don't come over here like Snapchatting. Like, you're in a public space, you are putting yourself out there, and they do it because they dress up a lot during Pride, which deviates from the original Pride parades, which is the Stonewall riots in the 60s in New York, because back then people of the LGBT community couldn't congregate together. It was illegal to be together. So they did it.
Like illegal in the public space or what?
Yeah, they couldn't have gay bars, lesbian bars,
okay,
anything like that. It was illegal to have any of that stuff. And they said, forget it. We're gonna do it. And that's what started this. Pride comes like we're prideful of who we are. We're here, and we're here to say it doesn't matter who you are or what you think, because this is who I am. I kind of see that now. Like it's changed. Yeah, things will change over time, but it's kind of really deviated because a lot of people now who identify in the community don't even know where it comes from. Don't even know what Stonewall is.
Right.
So I don't know. Some people, like the way it was written for me, it was just too negative in that way. Like you could have approached it a totally different way. People would have been like more receptive to it, more open to like, okay, I understand what you mean. But if you're just like, don't do this and do that, no one's gonna take.
Like if you told me not to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. No one's gonna take kindly to demands, and that's what exactly this article is doing.
A big fuck you, buddy. I'm a
pretty
right,
much.
because that's what
I was
you
like, you don't
want
want to Snapchat, then I'm gonna Snapchat.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Let me make a Snapchat account real quick. So
Just
because you told me not to snap this.
So this is something I kind of was saying a little bit earlier, and I was saying, sometimes people exaggerate things just so that they can get a reaction.
Hold on, you said this earlier in the day.
Earlier in the day.
Not earlier in the podcast.
Not in the podcast. Yeah, earlier in the day. Do you remember my words? I can't remember exactly.
Sometimes you have to exaggerate something to get people to notice it.
Like clickbait? Or what?
I mean...
No, I think clickbait is like false information.
Oh, okay.
Like, Shaq got eaten by a shark. That's clickbait. Because he did it. He did it. But exaggerating your points maybe in the title of a post,
I said, okay, sometimes things must be exaggerated in order for conversations to take place and controversial in order for it to reach a bigger audience. So if that post was more accepting, we wouldn't have been talking about it today. So just because
okay, if that post wasn't, I kind of get what you're saying. If that post wasn't so controversial or so, I said so extreme in the attitude or in the tone of the article,
we probably would not have spent 30 minutes talking about this.
Like incited a reaction from you.
Well, yeah, if it wasn't stupid, I wouldn't have made a post about it.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes things are exaggerated and cause a reaction. And now...
And you know what? You asked the question, you mentioned that, and I said, do the ends justify the means?
And I still don't understand that question, I guess.
So, okay, so just for the purpose of raising awareness or starting the conversation, does that justify being stupid on a post? Right? Does selling, just so I can feed my family, does that justify selling drugs? Right? Does the end, feeding my family, justify the means by which I achieved it and I attained that goal? So, that was my question. Yeah, it's good to raise awareness and start the conversation. But does that end justify being stupid?
No.
I don't think it does either.
No. Obviously it doesn't, but I do think a lot of people have become more part of the conversation, hence myself, because I probably wouldn't have talked too much about it.
Yeah. And I think
most of us, I don't know.
I think another part of it is that people, like now, because you do have that clickbait that everybody's just like sensationalizing things, that people have become desensitized to what like actual problems are. They just see it as stuff that people are trying to get views on or trying to get stuff like that. So now, before to where like you would go to like a level, I don't know, from 0 to 10, you would go to like a level 5 and people would look at it and react and have a conversation. Now you have to go to a level 10 to go to the far extreme for people to pay attention to it, just because they've become desensitized.
I think the post would have been just as attractive as far as like an audience. Like for me, I clicked on it because I was really curious, like, what are some things I should know about this community? Like I was really just curious and like, just for my own, growth as a human, opening myself up to other perspectives. I clicked on it for that reason. I think the post would have been just as attractive to me as a viewer, right? If it would have said before, straight, I don't know, or straight allies, or whatever it said in the post, straight allies, before you come to the Pride Parade, try to understand these things. I think, and then, for the same reason I clicked on the other one, is the same reason I would have clicked on that one. I didn't think it had to be so exaggerated, as you said, or anything. I think
the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't think this conversation would have been as accentuated as it is now if your reaction wouldn't have been the one that it is.
Yeah.
And again, to which I say, do the ends justify the means? Just because it did get does that make it okay to write something stupid? I don't think it does.
No, I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
I think the key word that should have been probably in the title would have been understand.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's what after going through the post, it was like they just wanted people to understand, but the way it was written, if you read it at first glance and you just go through it, it's just gonna be like, oh, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. But then you actually look at it, yeah, you're like, okay, they're doing this because of this. You need to understand why we're doing this. But at the same time, you can't really write it stupidly because then it's just gonna be.
And you know what bugged me was
it takes away from
their last point was like something that, remember, this is our space. Act accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was like, I think the whole, and like I said in my argument, I said I feel like the whole point is so that you can be accepted, so that like our space includes everyone.
Right.
Not just this community, or that people. Like, our space should be everybody's space. And for you to be wanting to be accepted into the general public, right? You should not still maintain yourself in that bubble we were talking about earlier. You should open it. Like, come. You don't agree with us? Come. You agree with us? Come. You want to take pictures? Come. You want to find your unicorn? I don't think you should come, but come. Like, I don't like it, but come. Like,
Yeah.
I think it should have been a little bit less negative, and I don't know.
All right. Well, I mean, I like the conversation, and I mean, I think everybody brought up some pretty good points. I think it's a pretty good stopping point too. So yeah, I just wanna say thanks to people who are listening, and again, I'm gonna do the same thing again. If you're listening up to this point, make sure to comment peanut balls with a Z.
Again, I think it'd be an excellent product. Like, I think it would fly off the shelves.
What's your Biscoff?
Biscoff.
Comment Biscoff balls. I think those might be better.
With jelly.
No, you know what? I think if we made Biscoff balls, it'd have to be Biscoffy balls.
Like biscotti.
Yeah, but different. Because it's got an F. Biscoffy balls.
Alright, but yeah, I think we're gonna end it there, and thanks for listening to the third episode of the Hot Papi Podcast.
Hot Papi.
There used to be a little more. To it.
Hot Papi.
Alright. A little less.
You see, you went from 5
like,
to 10.
Like
no.
Flamboyant.
Hot Papi.